Guys, in this video, I'm going to show you how I use AI-enabled workflows, specifically Swell AI, to save hours, probably 3 to 5 hours worth of time on every podcast release. But not only that, it steals me back that time and allows me to repurpose it into other high leverage, exponential impact activities, like creating a high value show notes based newsletter. I'm going to show you how I use Swell to create that and also then distribute it. Check this out. So when you log into Swell, this is going to look a little different before you set up projects. This is going to be where you start to set up your projects and workflows. You'll see I have a few different ones here. We're specifically going to be looking at my Out of Home Insider podcast, but I want to show this because I've used it to teach my son how to use AI. He's 10, he's in 5th grade, and specifically showed him how to record his thoughts and then turn that into a 2-page paper. So this can be used for absolutely anything, not only repurposing your content, but teaching your kids how to hack the education system and make it work for themselves. I've started other podcasts because it's stolen me back so much time. Cannabis Conversations was a completely separate podcast I spun up because I'm saving so much time now with Swell AI specifically. So let's jump in. Out of Home Insider. And we're going to look at this episode with Phoenix Ha. And you'll see on the left-hand side here, you'll see all of the kind of templated outputs that you can get from Swell AI. You're going to get the transcript. You're going to get video clips. I'll show you how I use these video clips in my workflows. You can get the chat agent, which is going to generate more outputs for you. And you can also get the chat embed to put on your website. I specifically put this in as a custom media player on my episodes so that people that are finding my podcast for the first time or maybe tight on time, they can come right into the search right here and they can learn what the episode's about, talk to the chatbot, see if this is an episode that's going to be valuable for them, and also to go back and reinforce what they may have learned from the episode. So this is really valuable. And then the documents specifically for this video, this is where we're going to be working out of. All right, so I use Buzzsprout for all of my podcast distribution. This is the episode that we're working on. And I heard another creator say this, and that was the big unlock. The creator said, check my show notes. It's our newsletter. And that's when it kind of was like, aha, wait a second. If I treat show notes like a newsletter, I can create something that is really valuable for the audience and specifically resonates with a piece of the audience that isn't necessarily most engaged by video or audio content. These are readers. These are folks who consume a little bit differently. So how can we engage them? Using the show notes as a newsletter has been one of those big unlocks, one of those big growth hacks. So I'm going to show you how I'm pulling the outputs from Swell AI. I'm putting that all into Buzzsprout. So some of the first things that I look for, I look at the perfect socials. I think that this is a great place for kind of thought starters. How is Swell talking about the episode? So I'll look at this for idea generation. Maybe there's some great copy, and I'll just start grabbing copy points and copy and pasting it over here. Then you'll see that there's some formatting, there's some bold, there's some timestamps. So I'll come back over to Swell. I'll look at timestamps. I'll grab these timestamps specifically, and then I'll come back over here. I'll add those in. Or also from this ultimate show note tab, there's really good timestamps that are called out right here. The other thing that I'm looking for is I'm looking for this right here, quotes. So if there's a quote that lines up to a timestamp that's even more impactful, then I may prioritize that over just the timestamp itself. So there's a few different ways that you can think about starting to combine this content. You'll see I have the origin story. I'll show you in a second how I also use that to solve some other things. I've got some specifics on what the company does, but I'm doing all of this work here that you see in the show notes from outputs that are generated by Swell AI. All right, so once I have the newsletter put together in a layout in a format that I like, I then come over here. You can see this is Beehive. This is going to go out to all of my newsletter subscribers, about 2,700 subscribers on the email news list. I also use LinkedIn newsletter feature. Let me show you that. So this is a distribution feature within LinkedIn specifically. you'll see that my company page has 3,900 followers, but my newsletter has 2,100 subscribers. That's separate from my Beehive audience. So what I do with that is I take the same newsletter, which originates as my show notes, which originates as outputs within Swell AI. I take those outputs, that becomes my show notes, that becomes my Beehive newsletter, that also becomes my LinkedIn newsletter as well. The last thing that I do is I take the outputs from Swell AI to create the guest profiles on my main website. So let me show you that too. All right, so this is what's called a custom template in Swell. You can create your own saved templates or outputs that you want the AI to generate for you. Specifically, on every episode, I need a 200-word guest biography. So this is about Phoenix Ha, who is my guest this week. I just copy and paste that over here. Kind of do a little bit of a sound check here, just make sure that this looks right. What I'm looking for here are just SEO optimized keywords that are going to help people find Phoenix, find this episode. All of this coming back to a core SEO strategy. We'll just put in their name, CEO of Ad Beacon, and I'll fill out the rest of this with some of the information. I'll show you that now. I saved the show notes. I also included all of the links for connecting with the guest. So here I'm just going to come over. I'm going to copy and paste. It goes here, email. We'll say CEO of Ad Beacon. I guess we could delete this one. Then we add a picture. This is a site called Podpage. This is great for podcasters. My First Million uses this. If you know the Lenny podcast, Lenny uses this. So there's a lot of great companies that use this and great podcasts specifically for their hosting as well. It just interfaces with everything. It pulls all the links over. Podcast link, that's going to populate automatically. I've got Phoenix's Twitter link here. We'll just come on down the line. We've got LinkedIn as well. So we'll add that. Oh, got Grammarly in the way. Oh, and then I'll show you the last place that I use this as well, which is actually YouTube. So you can see here on YouTube, I take the same show notes, and that becomes my YouTube description as well. So let's also grab the video while we're here. And we'll put that in there. So if someone gets to that, they can get over to the link that we have for the episode. We'll save that out. And that's how Swell AI saves me hours of time and allows me to not only create great show notes, but to create show notes that act as a newsletter on Beehive, goes out to 2,700 subscribers, a newsletter that goes out on LinkedIn to 2,100 subscribers, and also serves as the description on my YouTube video. Swell AI, can't thank you enough for giving me back all this time and allowing me to create as many outputs as I'm able to. The growth has been unprecedented. So really recommend everyone try this out. Give it a shot. Let me know what you think.